14. What's up, everybody? Cold today. Did my video yesterday on the Husqvarna chainsaw. I figured, well, might as well go ahead and get this eBay X bowl out. This one, the thread on this is stuck, so I got to try to get that off somehow. I don't know if this trick's gonna do it or not. Oh, Jesus Christ. Yeah. Got many things going on, but keeps me busy. And sorry for your accident there. So I'm gonna have to try to cut this. I've never tried to get it out. I just went to tighten the chain one day and I went to loosen that nut and I couldn't. I don't remember how you get the chain loose on this one. But I think we're gonna end up having to cut that. Well, if you're telling the truth, that sucks. But definitely sounds like your injuries kind of mess with your life there. So I can figure out how to get that nut off. Turn you guys a little bit. Trying to get my heat rolling too. Pretty cold in here today. Kind of cold every day, but I doubt that disc. Yeah, we might be able. We'll try it. No guarantees, but we'll try it. Barcelona. I actually run a Husqvarna. Always have. Aside from this one, family's always had Husqvarna, so I just liked them a little bit better. This one's an X bowl. I'm gonna try to get this nut off, but man, I doubt it's gonna come off. bet you Spain's a hell of a lot warmer than it is here right now. I think I got that nut to actually move. Dryer. It did move a little bit. I got my screwdriver in there. How's the weather over there in Spain? Here it's pretty cold. I think it's about 30 right now. Snowing. Got the wood stove going. Power's low because I'm off grid in my pole barn. So I'm hoping to have this done before my batteries get too low, because your batteries get too low, then it wants to freeze. So threads are definitely gone on this now, but nut doesn't want to move. Let's see if we can cut it a little bit more. Don't really want to cut chainsaw. I mean, it still works. I think I paid $100 for this saw. It's supposed to be like a 4.5 horse. And holy cow, I think it's coming off. I bought it when I first got my wood boiler because, I mean, it's a $100 chainsaw, right? Like, how can you go wrong? The only thing is the fuel tank on it is like extremely small, so you always got to refuel it. Yeah, it's coming off, guys. Look at that. I haven't used this saw in probably 5 years now. So it was actually, I bought this one, used it for a year, and then it's going through so much gas, and I was like, all right, that much shit's in there. I was like, all right, I'm gonna upgrade. So I bought that Husqvarna 562. Try to tip you guys up here a little bit. That works a little better, I think. Bought the Husqvarna 562, and I cut a lot of wood on one tank. It was a commercial chainsaw. Parts were a lot easier to get. I think this was a 5/16 chain. It's a lot smaller chain. It's the same. I think it's a 20-inch bar though. So's the Husky. And it's just worked better, so I quit using this. But when I'd go cut wood, I'd take this with me, and I'd cut a whole bunch of wood, and then when my Husky ran out of gas, I'd fire this one up. I wouldn't have to worry about taking a gas can or nothing, because I was cutting wood at my parents'. So I just cut wood till I ran out of gas, and I'd load the truck up. I'd already have wood sitting there the next time, and next time I went out, I'd load that up, and I just kept cutting wood. And then there was days I didn't have to cut. I just load the truck up and go. This one also uses a lot of oil. I think it uses twice what my Husky uses. It uses twice the fuel. It's not regulated to use in a forest, so like if you had any job sites or whatever, like they EPA, all that, they'll nail you for it. But when you're working on your own property or your family or your friend's own property, you don't have to worry about it. So, looks like we got I'm assuming it's metric. It's not a 4, it's a 3. Call this a hand tangler because you put these little Allen wrenches on there. When they finally break loose, like shocks your hands. So I just call them hand tanglers. But it does not want to move. I don't want to move at all. It's in that aluminum. Is that it? Yes, it was. Don't lose all my parts here. So I'm assuming this one's probably pressed in. Because I've turned it enough, it should have came out, and it hasn't. It seems to be pretty tight now. Maybe this stud actually wasn't loose. Maybe that nut was actually screwed up. Maybe that's the whole problem. Maybe this would be a lot simpler fix. Frickin' stove scared the shit out of me. So, got a bunch of these metric nuts got at a yard sale. They're probably all going to be fine thread. And of course, the one I need will end up being too big. Might have got lucky right there. No, it is loose because that whole thing's turning now. Yeah, it is threaded. Look at that. I wonder if just that nut was messed up. That was pretty damn tight. Maybe I didn't spin it enough last time I used it. What's up, Billy? How are you? All right, so I guess get this clamped down tight. See if we can see if I got a die for this that fits that nut. That's a little bit different pitch. I wonder if it's standard actually. That just got mixed in. It is not, so I need to find a metric tap set. Don't buy these because they're really cheap. I bought them a long time ago. And they're very soft. But this will tell me at least what the thread pitch and size is. All right, so that one fits pretty good, so. You know that it is a 7 1.0 thread or pitch. 8, there's that 8. See, I talk about cheap, like I haven't even used this yet, and you can already see the burrs on these. Where they cut the thread into them, but well, it's almost 40 degrees in here, so I got this Got this one here. I'll make sure. Let's see, we're gonna flip this around because we're going to the right. Get that back there. Probably trying to start this is gonna be a real pain because the thread is I can't even get the nut to start, but you can get that die in there. Looks like the die, because it got them burrs, is way too small. Yeah, I don't know if I'm gonna be able to do it with this one. Yeah, look at this one. This one's brand new too. What's up, Mark? How are you doing? Thanks for stopping by. Yes, I could try to find another bolt to go on here, but I mean, that's pretty much gonna be my only option that I got. I think those are the same two. Actually, it's a little bit bigger. Maybe that nut is a little bit too small. Maybe that's my issue. So I guess if I take this one, yeah, that one's a little bit loose. Maybe we just need a little bit bigger one. So that one definitely cross-threaded on there. So the next one we're gonna have is an 8. It's someday I'll have all the right tools and stuff will be a lot more interesting around here. But all right, so that tap feels a lot better on that one. And that's 8 by 125. This was 7. That's this one here, which doesn't got chips laying all over in it too. Let's see if we can get this one started. It definitely started, but it doesn't want to stay straight. It wants to cross thread. Jessen, I wouldn't call myself a mechanic. I just like working on stuff. I don't even know why they give you like this little flathead screwdriver, because it's a Phillips. I'm actually going to do this way. I think we got her. Nope, and I'm not a mechanic like you, because I don't work on heavy equipment. What's up, Renegade? Hi, Spider, Bryce. Sorry, falling behind on my comments. Oh, and if Bryce, if you're still watching, check to see if you accidentally blocked me, because every short that you post, it won't even let me click on it. Like your long form videos I can comment on, but it just won't even let me click on it. And you're the only person. So I've been trying to drop comments on you. Threading this cheap chainsaw stud. Couldn't get this nut off, so I cut it earlier so I could get it off. Now I don't have a nut for it. So I think I found a nut, but can't get on the threads because the threads are messed up. So that's what we're attempting to do. Got to grab the right one. Well, I didn't figure it'd block me, but I didn't know if like I was on like your live stream or something and somebody accidentally clicked it or what. So just thought I'd ask. I was gonna send you a message the other day and I forgot all about it. It's not a wood cutting machine. It'll cut wood. It's just it's so freaking cheap. It's great for like trimming branches around the house and stuff. It sucks so much gas. And he said earlier in the stream I talked about, I bought this one off eBay for $100, but it's not compliant here in the United States that I know of. But if I'm working on my own property and, you know, I'm not on a state land or working for someone, I mean, it's fine. Because you got to be careful on a lot of this stuff you buy. So I usually run my Husqvarna chainsaw. Now it's gas is way better. It's a little bit more power. This one they had listed for like, it was supposed to be a 4 horsepower or something. It's not 4 horsepower. But for $100, I'd rather have one of these than like the Poland ones you buy or whatever. Even though Husqvarna, I think, owns Poland or Wildcat or something like that. Yeah, I appreciate you checking on it. I'd like to comment on your stuff. I don't know what's going on. Yeah, maybe if you guys tune into iSpider Garage, tomorrow is Friday, first Friday of the month. He's got garage trivia. Everybody's welcome. He's got a little trivia game. You guys pick the winner. It's just for fun, you know. But check him out. I wouldn't claim to be a welder, but I do weld. I'm not a bench welder. I weld my own stuff. I work maintenance and food production, so this nut that's too small is big enough. If it doesn't get locked on there, I can take this one. I should be able to thread this one all the way down. Or actually, somewhat. Take that back. Thread this down somewhat. And take this one, thread this one on. That's I have to grab a wrench. Thread that one on just a little bit, and then back this one up. Tighten them together, and then I can tighten it. So I can take this 14. These are 2 different sizes. Takes 14. This one. Hopefully, actually, I should really think about this first. Take my good nut that I got here. There you go. Thread that one in. Thread that one in all the way, and then I take my good nut that I know is right. Yeah, no problem, Bryce. Always a good time with you, man. Indonesia. It's a long haul. What are you guys mining for out there? Try to be safe at work as much as I can. I mean, accidents happen, but I'm actually the maintenance manager, so if somebody gets hurt, that's actually on me. And that's not a good thing when someone gets hurt, which we've had. But it doesn't sit real good with me either, because then I lose a guy and then I feel bad. All right, so that one's pretty tight without stripping the aluminum. I don't have any Loctite, which Loctite would have been the nice thing to have in there since they're already loose. The only thing is, I don't have another one of these flange nuts. See, they're flanged so that you, when you tighten it down, it's got more surface area. It holds a lot tighter. But if it works, right? It's my private workshop. I guess I don't know what I mean by that. Put all my junk tools here away. I think it's like 30 degrees here, Bryce, so, or Eye Spider. So I'm sure it feels nice, your neck of the woods. Clean this cover off. That way we don't get anything stuck behind it. And I tore my Husky one apart yesterday, and could not get the frickin' brake back on it. So I'm hoping this one doesn't do the same thing. Which now I forgot how this thing comes off. There we go. So I got some little bit of crap in there. This is where your oil is going to come out for your bar, so you don't want that plugging up. Yeah, man, you don't need a refrigerator when you're here. $90? Damn. I forgot where you're at, Renegade. You don't have to say it out loud, but I can't remember where you're at. But 68, that's still a lot nicer than here. We were in a full-blown like blizzard earlier today. Last night, the wind was so bad, people lost power, and they were stuck at home, didn't have no power. Some of them didn't have heat unless they had a wood stove. Got up today. Luckily, I didn't lose power. The wind was whipping, and went to work. Everybody's driving 20 mile an hour. So I was passing cars left and right. I was running 35. That's, you know, we have four-wheel drive. Got out of work today, same thing. Cars running 20 mile an hour. And it was kind of white outside. And then I got home, the sun was out. I started plowing because I did a live on plowing snow. Sun was out, so I got my panels all wiped off. So I get some battery. Florida. All right, now you're just showing off, man. Yeah, my batteries and for my solar are dying because their UV's just been not being able to get through the clouds. So their batteries won't charge. And then I got snow on my solar panels. So then like yesterday I was out here a little bit. depleted a little bit of power, and then right now they're depleting pretty good, but they get down too far, then what happens is your battery starts freezing. So as long as your batteries are charged, they may, you know, die because they're losing voltage because it's cold outside, but they won't freeze. But as soon as your battery is dead and the water and the acid and everything starts getting cold, they'll freeze and then your batteries blow up. That's what happened to my big 24 volt last year. Started having a cell go bad, and then was out of town. We had sub-zero temperatures, and that baby swelled right up and broke. So then I didn't have any power at that point, except for my generator. At least the snowmobiles are out here having fun. I can hear them. They've been out hot rodding all day. What's nice about this one is your big motors. This one's kind of got that steel recoil. So like I can just pull it up and it's reduced. You barely have to pull it, but this thing's 110 decibels and it is freaking deafening. All right, got that cleaned up. The oil I used on this thing, that bar lube, man, it's just thick. Yeah. These you gotta be careful too, because you get the chain starts to wear down. You run your hand across there and it thing will lace you. Butter. Yeah, I got about $1,700 into mine. Mine are all 100-watt panels. But when the sun's out, I run, like right now, I'm running all my lights off solar. I can charge all my cordless tools. I can run the CNC plasma cutter, just the motors, the computer. The only thing I can't run is the 220 because I don't have a big enough inverter or enough battery to do it, but you gotta get on-grid power pretty soon. But it's about $8,000 to do it. Just solid crap in there, man. But what's nice too is we had a big storm come through beginning of the year, and everybody's power was out, and I needed a generator cord for my house. So I went and got my generator cord, turned the lights on in here. I was working on everything instead of working in the dark, and I just wheeled it out and hooked it up to the house. So not worried about sharpening that. or sorry, not sharpening it. I'm not worried about sanding this down. There's no sharp edges on this. It's just paint peeling. I don't remember which way the bar was. I guess we'll flip it over. Get our holes cleaned best we can. They say, I don't know what oil I used in this last, but man, this stuff's thick. Chain's pretty shot, but we could sharpen it. Sharpen it like we did the one the other day. Hey, mofo driver. 20. Man, I feel for you. I'm not too far from you, but yeah. This 20 here the other day, I was trying to work out here and my hands are froze. Make sure the chain's on right. I still got this to clean. That's where that adjuster is. I couldn't remember where the adjuster is on this one. There's so much crap in here. This is why you don't cut logs lengthwise, right there. I'd do it with this one though. I had some big popple. I cut these popple about 24 inches long, and the tree was like 28 inches diameter, and it was really green. I couldn't pick them off the ground, so I ended up, I just took my saw, stood them chunks of wood up and cut down enough that I could hit it with a splitting maul and split them right up. This one, even the brake is just solid sawdust and chain lube. We gotta get back to working on some cars pretty soon. Yeah, I got one, but it's so thick right now, it plugs up. So I'm gonna clean off a little bit of it, and then I'll wire brush it like I was doing the other day. Like it's so thick. Like yesterday when I was cleaning up the Husky, that worked great. That stuff was dried, but this saw, it leaks, or it doesn't leak. It uses so much oil that the oil goes everywhere, which is nice sometimes, but it always plugs up on this one and everything. Thanks for joining, by the way. What's up, UP? How are you doing today? This saw is kind of torquey, not gonna lie. It doesn't have a lot of power, but it's torquey. You put the brake on, you get this thing fired up, it'll do donuts on its own. It revs so freaking high. Because usually, like when I go out to cut wood, I'll fire it up for like a minute or so, and then I shut it off and just let it sit there so that the oil's got a little bit longer chance to warm up. Because usually I'm cutting wood and it's cold outside, and the oil doesn't like to move very much. It's like the consistency of syrup right now. So that's probably why it's still got lube and shit in there. I've been trying to do a lot more of these vertical lives because YouTube's pushing it, and I'll tell you right now that there's you guys that need some watch hours and stuff. I mean, definitely go ahead and try it, because I've got at least 200 hours in the last week with the few lives that I've had. A couple of those lives I've had quite a few people on. Been watching for a short time, but I'm getting close to my 3,000, but I think you guys should definitely try it. Picked up about 80 subs off from it too last week, so if you guys are looking to get more connections, also a good benefit. Well, it's not the cleanest, but get the screw cleaned out here. And where that's at, we can back this off a little bit. Still got plenty there. I took a link out of this one too. Okay, so we got the good nut. I already forgot what nut it was, so. Would I ever use Ryobi? I guess it depends on what it is. Like, nothing against Ryobi. Usually I use, Milwaukee. I got a Ryobi tool somewhere. I just don't remember what it is. Okay. Oh, wrong side. See on my Husky saw, you can go right here and tighten your bar up. But on these ones, for some reason, they always like to put them down here in the front. And I have never figured out why they do it. I've got cut at least 4 or 5 times trying to tighten these up just because I nick one of the teeth. Yeah, I always hold this up. Even on my Husky, I'll hold these up. Because if you hold it down and you tighten it, when you go to cut your first piece, this will come up and then your chain comes loose. Which this chain usually stretches a lot. And I think a lot of that is because of how much oil it leaks out. It doesn't actually get into the bar. Yeah, this nut's not gonna hold either. Back to the drawing board on that one. I think it's because it's fine threaded. This was that one that's a little bit snug. Can't win them all. It's going on there though. It's tight. Should get a break. Should release it. Yeah, look at that. All right, now we're gonna try to sharpen this thing the way I like to do it, which some people are gonna frown upon what they're about to see, but it's all good. I usually stick this until my vise doesn't move, and then with the break off, I can spin this, and then, you know, working here, boom, break it loose, move it, boom. The chain's already starting to come loose, which I figured it would do. Once it got moving a little more, but that's not bad. Hold it back up. It's gonna get looser once we start tightening it because it's been sitting for so long. And I got my file here. Usually, you know, you got one of these rests and then you kind of just, you know, pull it along like that, right? Not in this shop. Like I said in my other live stream, if I was logging, I'd do it the right way. Because I'm not logging, the way I do this, works great. I just take my drill like so. There's a line on top of this tooth. And just give her a little bit. You got to put some downward pressure because if you just let this go, the file's going to ride up the tooth. Yes, I know, frowned upon by many old timers and loggers. But we're not logging, so works just fine for what we're doing, or what I'm doing. Used to use this saw quite a bit for cutting pallet wood. So the chain's seen quite a few nails in its day. Like this one right here. That one's pretty shot. They're both. That one real quick. Just getting that big, there's a big chunk out of it, so just trying to straighten that up a little bit. Sometimes it doesn't always work out. But this chain is super old. It's like my other one. My other one is almost completely gone, but it works. Next chain I want is going to be I like to be one of those chisel tips. So these little semi-round. Chain's starting to get a little bit loose as they go around. 47 people in here. Thanks for tuning in, everybody. Go ahead and give this about a quarter turn there. Snug it back up. Okay, that's one side. All I gotta do is take this off, flip it around. I just try not to over tighten it in the vise too much. Just try to tighten it. See how it kind of moves. Give her a little bit more. Just till I tap on it and it doesn't move, and then you just go ahead and do this side. I think your file wears pretty fast. So if you're doing it this way, make sure you got plenty of files. Not trying to take a lot off these, we're just trying to clean up. Run this file, and then we all the You want that tooth to be nice and shiny. And you know you actually got the whole thing. If you got, you know, dull spots on there, you're gonna see it. And then every time there's a little dull spot, it's gonna be a spot that's hasn't been hit by your file. And then I got one of these little raker gauges that sit on top. And then set these on top, and then you take your file and you go across those rakers. Because as your tooth's like this, so if you start here, and then as the chain gets wore down, you start taking more material, it gets closer to the bar. That's what these are for. These make sure you're taking the same amount of material off as the next tooth, so you don't have a, you know, jerky action when you're cutting them. You just want a nice smooth cut. Then you just, oh, I messed up already. So because your teeth, you got left side and your right side. So your right side, you want to go, you want to push, I guess, how do I word this? If it's to the right, you're going to push it away. And then the left side, you're going to spin it around, and then you're going to push away. Because it'll be really jerky. I'll show you an example. You can see it. So this one is on the, this one's on the right side. You hear it. Now this one is on the left side. So if I go the opposite way, you hear it just, it's not good. So take this. Some of these are wore down more because you're filing the tooth more than some of the others. Get a rail saw, you don't need rakers, but you better be holding on to it, because when it grabs, it's gonna take you with it. I've been doing it this way, man, for, well, since I moved out of my parents' house, so my dad didn't smack me in the back of the head, but since I got my own saw, as long as you take your time and you're not, you know, going to town on it, it works just fine. For me, it only works if your teeth got that little angle on it, that angle line, because then you know about where you need to be. If they don't, I have a harder time trying to make sure it's in the right spot every time, and then your chain starts to cut all over the place. I see a lot of guys use little Milwaukee die grinders, and they'll just get like a rough stone, kind of coarse style, and that's what they use to sharpen it. I've seen a few guys make their own jig, and then they can just go whoop, and then they just slide it down. They just keep going. You can usually tell the high ones because the sound is different. Usually I just give them 1 or 2, but these ones are down at least 2. That was a 3. It's definitely a 3. That one's a 2. That's a 1. That's a 3. 2. It's a 1. 2. That's a 1. That's a 1. You can also feel it in the file too. Get that nice smooth cut. Okay, we're done. So usually when you have these files, they have jigs and stuff, but when you're sharpening, you come across that, you can feel the drag. Like your file will be like this while you're trying to do it. And you know it's not, the tooth's not straight. But after a couple times, you feel that resistance go away. It's just a smooth action. That's how you know it's getting pretty sharp, because your tooth is straight. Then you just gotta make sure that you're getting in there enough that you're not, you know, if you're, like here is perfectly in line, but if I have it out here, where I'm touching that raker, there's gonna be a gap. So just because I hit that doesn't mean it's sharp. People tell you that the chain cuts on the side. It cuts the top and the side. It's just how it works. If you only sharpen the top, it's only going to go in so far. If you only sharpen the side, it's only going to cut so far. If you do both sides, it'll work right. Okay. So this thing hasn't fired up in a while. I think this one is a 35 or 40 to 1, but it runs like shit. Mainly because they're tuned in China, and then you buy them wherever, and the air pressure is different, the humidity is different. But I found out if I run 50 to 1, it runs pretty good. But since it's been sitting, I need to check this little air filter cover, make sure there's no mice in it. The filters are nice because I've had these get pretty dirty. And they're pretty much just a screen. If you can see through it, it's good. Choke still works. I'm gonna pull the plug out. I don't even know what size this is, honestly. I'm only pulling this out because it's a 2-stroke. There's been bugs and stuff floating around. Of course, I already, you know, rolled her over, but she's pretty fat. She'll start though. Might take a few pulls, but I guarantee you she's gonna fire right up. and put this back on there. I have had this when the chain gets dull that there's a lot of just little wood shavings that get in there and plug that filter. There's a lot of vibration in this saw too, because it's, even though it's got a little bit of dampening, like you get done, your hands shake, like shaking out. I've had this nut fall off before. All right, so maybe there's still gas in this thing, I don't know. It's pretty nasty. Just run this VP 50 to 1 because it I think this is like 30 bucks a gallon, but for me, I don't have to go to the gas station, buy a gallon of gas, put the mix in it, and then it sit around all year. This is ethanol free. Just put a little bit in there. I've had this gallon for like 2 years. It's pretty potent still. All right, how many guesses on, or what's your guesses for number of pulls? I'm guessing fourth pull, this thing will fire up. I mean, I've been out here for an hour, so you know it hasn't ran in an hour. If a primer bulb still works, yes it does. Told you guys it does it donuts. All right, so that's a good feeling, because especially in these storms, being surrounded by trees, it works. Yeah, no, I got a Husky. This is just one I had years ago, and I bought it first when I was doing firewood. Paid $100 for it, and all I've done is put fuel and oil in it, bar oil, and got my Husky going yesterday, and this one's been sitting and works great. I mean, it's louder than shit, and when you get done, your hands shake so bad, but this one you definitely want earplugs in, because you get a piece of wood in there and it's got a short distance and it just freaking cracks like right in your ears. I always wear earplugs on that one. My other one, not so much, but try to use earplugs a lot more since I'm getting older. Oh, and it fired up on the third pull after sitting for 5 years. I've actually cut a lot of wood with that saw, honestly. All right, got about 10, well, about 5 more minutes actually. So if anybody's got any questions or comments or whatever their favorite saw is, speak now because my power's going out very soon. Yeah, 20 and a half. It's gonna start beeping any second. And my stove went out. I got the 562 XP. No, my power's gonna go out. Volts. It's when I bought, I bought from the dealership because it's a commercial saw, but it works good for me. I don't log. I just cut firewood and stuff, but haven't had a wood boiler in a while, so. But okay, guys, I'm down to 20 volts, so any minute my inverter is gonna kick out and it's gonna be dark in here. So thanks everyone for watching. Appreciate it. Gonna try to do a few more lives before Christmas, so catch you on the next one.